Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. It's the brother Bayan here to bring you a quick lesson. Prior to get started, I want to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, Bahashemi, Hawashai, Bahashemi Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopefully elect, you Akim, you Aqua, which is you brothers and sisters in Hebrew that believe. Okay, and I'm just here to bring you another quick lesson. And it's going to be titled on the basis of you can't work for the Lord and fail. Okay, you can't work for the Lord and fail. And what I mean by this, first and foremost for you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelites, of the true Israelites of the Bible. You can't go wrong with working for the Lord, man. All right, for again, I always say, and I always gotta repeat it, but for you heathen, you could kick rocks. If you're not of those of a Negro, Latino, Native American descent of your father, the Lord has no dealings with you. Okay, but just to continue to clarify that, in this lesson, just going to grab a couple of precepts of why you can't fail. Because at the end of the day, the Lord has set everything up, has set what we're going through right now, and just pretty much just the truth in general, the scriptures, the history, everything that goes about that. When you look into it, you see that nobody ever trusted in the Lord and was done wrong. Okay, and obviously that's got to be the first precept that I start off with. But this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 2, verse 6. It says, "Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward should not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?" All right, so if you wholeheartedly been doing all of the correct things, man, you called on the Lord is going to answer. All right, it may not be when you want it to happen, or however it goes, but again, it says, who or whom did he ever despise that called on him? So if you have the name of the Lord, all right, and you are of that Negro, Hispanic, or Native American descent, the so-called Israelites, you calling on the actual name of the Lord, the Lord is he's not gonna forsake you. All right, because if you're doing that, that's a tall tale sign that you may be one of those people. You may be one of those elect. You may be of that 1/3, because 1/3 of our people, ultimately believes in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Calls on the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And so on and so forth. So you could look all the way through the scriptures and see that what men did, in the past times, our forefathers did in their past times, that the Lord was always with us, man. He was always with us, and he never failed you in a situation that needed you to be saved. If you truly believe, and you was definitely one of that elect, it's nowhere in the scriptures that the Lord just forsakes somebody. If anything, the most thing that you see in the scriptures is the Lord having mercy on people, our forefathers, doing wrong. Okay, just doing wrong, and continue to continue to help at some, in any which way that he did, But again, that's something that's comfortable. You know, this is I mean, I guess you could put it in the same boat as a comfort lesson, but you can't go wrong, man. You know, as long as you put all your chips on Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the Lord is gonna fight for you, man. The Lord is gonna fight for you, and he's gonna be with you, you know, through everything, you know, regardless if you know if your role is to be, you know, killed, you know, unalived, you know, in his truth. You know, the Lord has something for that, you know, but he has his reasons of doing so if he was to take you out, you know, and ultimately all we can see right now for that being his mercy, because the times of trouble that's going to be coming is going to be, you know, crazy, you know, but again, you know, it's nothing that the Lord can do to those believers that we can think to ourselves that it's wrong. Okay, knowing that we are the believers and we're following behind Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, we believe that we are following behind Yahweh Bashim Yahushua under, you know, our teachings and learnings, you know, that has been given from you know, beyond. You know, just can't lose, man. It's a win-win situation of putting all your chips, you know, putting you know, gambling on Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You can't lose, you know. And let me see. Just a quick precept of, you know, why, you know, and this is just simple. Okay, and you know, me, I like to say that the Lord is our cheat code. You know, he's our cheat code, and he's, you know, everlasting, you know, righteous, and you know, any other positive connotation you can put on the Lord, he's that. All right. Also, you know, evil too in some type of ways. You know, Alashijah, demon-like power, you know, that we have. But again, you know, what we're harping on right now is the good that can come from dealing with Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, okay? But this is Isaiah 45:7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So we're dealing with a power that has control over all spectrums of the board, okay? And why would that not make sense for you to be on that friendly side of things? You know, why would you want to make an enemy of somebody that controls the entire game? You know, it's stupid. You know, it's stupid for, you know, for these people to not believe in the Lord, you know, to choose to believe other false idols and so on and so forth, and ultimately, you know, believe that there is no God at all. You know, it's utter ridiculous. You know, it's utterly ridiculous. You know, but again, this is a power that we have, man. You know, that's only for us. You know, only for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. You Israelites, the Israelites of the Bible, man. This is our power. So hearken to him while he's near. You know, and just, man, just understand and have that confidence and that faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua that you can't go wrong with believing, you know, this way. Okay, the moment that you think that the Lord is not gonna save me, he's not gonna do this, you already, you know, you already killed yourself in your mind. All right, and that's not the type of work that we're doing. You know, we're having that faith in, you know, that confidence and faith that we are required to have. You know, being disciples of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, to believe that everything that is written in the scriptures are true. You know, every bit of history and accounts that's going on with our forefathers, that this is true, and you know, everything just all in that manner is something that we can hold on to, because we can see accounts that the Lord has done this already, you know, and he's going to do it again. You know, he's going to do that again for his men. He's going to do that again for the people that he loved, you know, that also love him. Okay. And, you know, it's plain as simple as that, you know. But, you know, again, also too, you know, I mentioned earlier that, you know, it may be something that, you know, brothers may have to be unalive, have to be martyrs of the truth and so on and so forth. But, you know, that's okay too, because you could think, you could sit here and try to think that, you said you can't work for the Lord and fail, but you died and so on and so forth. And it's just like, you know, I mean, the Lord, he has authority over that. But just because the Lord unalived you doesn't mean that, you know, you're not going to inherit the kingdom. You know, he took you away for his reasons, because we obviously have brothers in his truth that was pushing to the max, man. And they definitely, you know, took that fall, you know, that nice sleep, you know, that they're doing and waiting until this entire world is over. This entire world is pretty much done away with, you know, in our you know, authority and rulership. You know, the Israelite rulership is to come into this world, you know. But this is Hebrews 6:10. It says, "For God is not unrighteous to forget your works and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end." All right. The Lord he's not unrighteous to forget the works, man. So continue to work, you know, continue to work. This is the best route that was ever placed in front of us, man. This is an opportunity of a lifetime that the Lord has put in front of us, you know, to believe in him, you know. So us believing in him, man, we can't lose, man. We can't lose, you know. And probably the last precept that I have, I'm going to grab it just so I could say it correctly, but it's one of my favorite precepts that I could quote all day, every day, but it's Philippians 4:13. You know, I could do all things through Yahweh Shai Mashiach. But I just want to grab it just in case that I missed any words. Where is my... So like, I don't have my sword with me. I'm doing this off the computer, but I know it's Philippians 4:13. Just making sure that I say this precept correctly. This is Philippians 4:13. It says, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me, for I can do everything through Hamashiach who gives me strength." And I am reading different versions of it. So like, what the hell? See, that's why you need to just have your sword next to you. Philippians 4:13 in the KJV. "I can do all things through Hamashiach which strengthen me," you know. So all things, you know, not some things, not few things, all things, you know. You put your faith, your confidence, your hope into Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you can't lose, man. I can do all things through Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, which strengthen me. You know, that's our power, that's our strength, you know, that we call on a daily, and who are we expecting to come back and save us, you know, from this hellhole, you know, our big brother, you know. And I guess I could get one of my other favorites. Is gonna be, this is the book of Proverbs 18:10. Again, one of my favorites. It says, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe." Okay. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and is safe. So, believing in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man, that's a strong tower that we have. That's the most valuable resource that we can ever have, or even have ever imagined any times of our lives, So we know that the importance of the name of the Lord is definitely, something crucial and very, very serious, to these other people who say it doesn't matter. That's nonsense. All right. We need to be able to call on our Lord and our power. We just can't call on anybody and just, or just, wing this thing, man. This is very direct on how this whole operation is going to happen with the Lord. All right. And it starts with his name. It starts with that confidence and that faith and belief that you have in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And you go from there, man. You continue to build and you continue to grow with the wisdom and knowledge, brotherly love, all of these things that the Lord, requires of us, But again, the Lord is to let you know that you're doing all of these things, man. This is how you're going to win at the end of the day. So the Lord is setting us up to win big at that, to win big in biggest, bigger, whatever word you want to put in front of it, of the opportunity that's placed in front of us. That is the opportunity of a lifetime, But that was pretty much it. I pray that this lesson was edifying, Praying to get out of here, I want to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who taught me the truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, you Akim, you Akwath, which is your brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. Keep pushing, and you can't go wrong, man. Continue to work for the Lord, man, until our times is up. Until that whistle blow, until that horn blow, until that buzzer beater happens, continue to work. All right, we can't go wrong. So keep on pushing. So keep on pushing. Shalom.